So this is the Vagrant. This is the Vagrant file. So you can use like shell scripts to configure your stuff. So I mean you can see like it's installing whatever you need, and then you can run MySQL commands and all things like that. Then you can start your Apache. What else?
How can you make sure they install the same version of the software?
The same version?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
How can they make sure that different users install the same version of the?
It's based on the commands you put in the Vagrant file, so you'll be able to you can specify like what you need. Yeah. Yeah, so these are bash scripts. These are all scripts you can show. So what else do I need? Okay. So once I Vagrant up, I can go in localhost and be able to run. The server is already running, so I can just go in to access it, and then yeah. So basically, that's all. I mean, Vagrant is not like very hugely complicated. Yeah, it's very easy to set up. I was just trying it out for myself, and then I realized it was quite easy. So this is running on localhost. Yeah. Then to share, you can do Vagrant share. I was having some issues with it. Not sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think there are some configuration issues with Vagrant share.
So basically, Vagrant share, what will you get? The hosting, your IP address, or?
Yeah, there's this service called Vagrant. I mean, Vagrant has a Vagrant cloud service where you can share your boxes online, so other people can access. It will give you a URL, something.vagrantcloud.com. Then people can access your environment.
Also, Vagrant share is like an integration to the cloud service.
Yeah, but you can share your.
What if you never use Vagrant cloud? Then how to share?
You cannot. Yeah, because they'll route through Vagrant cloud. Yeah, so basically that's all. I mean, conclusion is everyone should use Vagrant. Because I was looking into Docker and Chef and all that, but I realized Vagrant can help you manage Docker and Chef. So as in the sense that, because for example, if you use Docker to deploy your apps, then you need to learn how to use Docker. But if you use Vagrant, then someone who has already configured Docker, you don't have to mess with Docker yourself. Yeah, so I think that's the power of it, Vagrant. Because everything that is configured, you don't even have to touch it. It's like transparent. I mean, you don't need to touch. So if someone prefers using Chef and someone prefers using Docker, if you use Vagrant to manage it, you don't have someone else working on the project don't have to learn Docker or Chef. And then so it's useful, I think, in our context because there's so many different kinds of projects with different clients would want different setups and things like that. So it might be easier to manage everything on Vagrant. Because I find sometimes when we are starting out a new project that is already developed halfway, usually you need to talk to the previous developer, like how do you set up certain things. Yeah. So,
are you saying that once we set up a project, then we should use this Vagrant to?
I'm saying you should set up the project with Vagrant so that all your scripts, everything. All the commands that you need to run, all the things you need to install will be on Vagrant. So then once and Vagrant is just a Vagrant file, right? So you commit to GitHub, someone else pull it down. If they have Vagrant, they can just Vagrant up, and then you'll run all the commands that in your Vagrant file. So whatever configuration you need, you can you'll be ready to. You'll do all the installation for you and automatically. Yeah. So it ensures that everybody's environment is the same. So you'll never have like a problem of, hey, how come it works on my system, it works on your machine, doesn't work on mine, which sometimes happens also. Yeah. So yeah, that's all.
Does it track the code or just the computer software information?
The
Does
code?
it track the code?
What do you mean?
Like I wrote something.
You still need to use GitHub. So for example,
Yeah.
it's just the main file. I mean, Vagrant. The main thing of Vagrant is in the Vagrant file, but everything you still check everything in the versions on GitHub. So then you pull it down, and then you when you run Vagrant up, you will install everything based on the configuration.
So you just have to do the regular docs.
Yeah. So if so you run all your rig tasks, you can run in the virtual in the VM basically.
But can I copy paste the code from radio file and run it in Mac?
In Mac?
Yeah. Say if I don't want to use Vagrant, but I got this Vagrant file and I don't want to install the dependencies manually. I just copy paste.
Yeah, but it's hard to say because different machine. As in, because this VM is Ubuntu, so yeah, so it's hard to say whether it will work. That's why that's the whole point of Vagrant, so that you just install Vagrant and you can just run it. You don't. I mean, I guess you can run this code lah, but what's the point?
Is there any performance issue?
Performance issue. I mean, I think the server will be a bit slower because it's on VM, but I mean, since it's on development, it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's more of streamlining your workflow. So actually, even for developers, it's useful. Sorry, designers, it's useful because they don't have to learn how to install the Ruby gems and everything. They just figure out, and then they can look at how the project is looking now and what are the front end problems. You can go in and fix the front end code yourself. Don't have to wait for us. Yeah. So it's much easier because designers, they don't want to mess with the setting of the environment and all that. So it'll be helpful. Okay, that's all. Any other questions?
So it's like saying you make one copy with all your settings, all your reference, then you just share it.
Yeah, basically that's what it does. It automates the creating of these virtual machines. So everyone will be running on the same VM.
The same copy.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
What if I update the software on my local machine? Does it also?
You need to change it in the Vagrant file.
Does it change automatically?
No. You need to.
How does this being generated? Use a command.
Actually, I think. Oh yeah, no. When you update the software, it will. I think so. Vagrant will be able to generate and they will. You just need to check in the Vagrant file, and then you tell other people that it's updated, then they will just
so
run.
You update, then other people automatically update software on their machine.
Yeah, they need to run this command Vagrant provision. You'll run all the provisioning again.
Or if you don't run that command, it won't be updated.
Yeah, no, it won't be updated. So basically, if you see, so in my VirtualBox, this is my VM that I'm running. So these are all it's Ubuntu 64-bit memory, video memory, blah blah blah, everything. So it's actually an actual VM. Yeah, it's just automating the process of it.
Kind of like a Git, like a version control for your
for virtual
the
machines.
images of your OS.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, except a few features which are helpful is the syncing between your project files and the VM file, so that you don't have to copy and manage all this yourself. Yeah.
Another question: when you work on the Mac, right? When you create a virtual machine, that's a Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why do you create on the different system?
I mean, it's just you can. I guess you just create Ubuntu. I mean, it's like that.
Okay, you can install Windows for Windows license, right? Other OS, what else?
So it's the OS is not important.
Yeah, it's just a common, something that everyone can install. So Ubuntu or whatever Linux is the easiest to
I
use.
still don't know why they need a OS to do that or a VirtualBox.
You need OS. If no OS, how do you run the page? How do you run your web application?
Yeah, it's basically it's just a way that because everyone's machine you configure in the own way you like, right? Like on Mac you may have certain software that you like. So to be able to prevent all that problems, they will create a VM where everyone has the same VM, and then you just run the code on the VM. And then even when you deploy, you can deploy using the same configuration. You don't need to have trouble because sometimes it works. The code works on your local host, doesn't work on the server. Yeah, so it's meant to smooth out a workflow. Yeah.
How do you specify which OS?
When you install the box, so when you Vagrant init, you can choose.
Is it not the configuration file?
I mean, it will generate the configuration file for you.
They
Yeah.
have like boxes, so I can say I have a Ubuntu 14.01 OS with filled out with PHP by admin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that becomes one box.
Yeah, but where is that configured?
It's
Virtual box using.
yeah. It's. I mean,
It's configured virtual box, but like let's say you have a source your
So usually on the site, right, there are various providers that will help you set up how you want to set it up, and then you will create a copy of the Vagrant box for you. Then you either choose to download it and then init. So you will reference a certain file in your local copy. Correct?
again.
Okay, so from what I understand, right, because I used this once, was that I download the box right onto my computer.
Yes.
Then I on my VM, and then I tell my VM to talk to this or look at this file, right?
This Vagrant file.
Yes, correct. Then after that, you will initialize the whole virtual machine using the image file. So essentially, the whole gist of it is kind of like it's a version control type of thing with the images of the OS that you want to replicate. So the good thing is that then my OS can be, when I'm doing work, right, my OS when I click like Rails S and stuff like that, it's very similar to his, so we won't have problems.
So so the baseline OS and the OS environment is, so let's say you have a project, right?
Yeah.
And you already configured your Vagrant file to target a specific, to be run in a specific OS environment, right?
Yeah.
So your project, I mean, how do you make sure everyone is using the same?
So in your project, there's a Vagrant file.
Yeah, this way is in the.
So everything should be.
Yeah, it's the same, but here is I don't see any like.
OS version.
Yeah, there's no OS version, no nothing like that. That says how do you ensure everyone works on the same baseline?
I'm not too familiar with the exact workings. I think it should be So here is where the box name. So it's
Okay.
this is where it's
So
specified.
Vagrant provides. Is it are those boxes provided by Vagrant?
It can be anybody who provides it. Yeah. So basically everything is configured down. Configured here.
Okay. So like when you do a Vagrant init, you would get all those, like for example the VM box. It doesn't really exist on your machine. You can download it.
Yeah. In fact, I think there's a page on Vagrant where you can find boxes to start with. Can't remember where it is. But yeah, you should be able to find. Yeah, to add a box, the easiest way is to add a box on public available catalog. Okay, so it's on Vagrant Cloud. So you have like featured boxes. Yeah, so there's a bunch that have certain things configured.
Do they have like versions on those boxes?
I think the thing is, I guess each each box is a certain configuration. So if you change the configuration, you'll be like consider a different box. Right?
So you can't say like later on as an OS it's configured.
Then you
change
you use a different. There's a different version. And there's like Ubuntu 13.04 and 13.10.
So just control the name.
Yeah. No. It's my own project. I mean, my side sort of project that I'm doing. Sorry? Tinkerbox, no. Because if I use it, then everybody has to use it. I mean, whoever else is working on it have to use it.
So like when we, let's say we deploy production, we choose production boxes like.
Deployment is a different thing because depending on how you deploy it, some providers will have different configurations. So then you might need to use like other tools. Like I think Docker and all that helps in deployment. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's all.